before we get into this conversation, since we're on the topic of marriage and things like that, do you know that the most common piece of content that I receive on Threads, on Instagram, and on Facebook is guys sending me videos of both black men and black women still citing that 2009 report for black women and white men marriages and their divorces having less of a chance to divorce. Y'all know I've talked about this ad nauseum, and you guys have sent me maybe 10, 20 videos of black men and black women saying, well, you know, when white men marry black women, they have less of a chance to get divorced. There's a 44% chance that they're not going to get divorced. And I'm like, man, if you're going to sit there and say that you look at the statistics and you know the statistics, then why are you citing that? Anybody who is an educated person in the mathematical field, i.e. me, right? When you cite a source that was published in 2009, and they use studies from 25 to 50 years ago, you understand that that is considered vintage data, okay? The only way, or the only reason why you would use that data is if you have more recent data, which that article would support the recent data. For example, if you say, well, back in 2009, when they studied from 25 to 50 years ago, black women and white men marriages had less of a chance to get divorced. Fast forward to 2022 or 2023, within 5 years, right? Now, it's the same thing. It still says black women and white men have less of a chance of divorce. There is literally nothing out there that says that. Black community, stop citing this. Nothing has, the only thing that has changed is that marriage between black men and white women have increased. I've heard black men say when black men marry out, when they marry women of other races, they have the highest divorce rates. Have you guys heard this before? Have you guys heard this? When black men marry out, when they marry women of other races, they have the highest divorce rates, okay? That line has been recycled so much that it sounds factual, but in reality, it's not. Listen to me, black community, and listen to me good. Since everybody is an expert and you think that ChatGPT is a way, I want you to ChatGPT that sentiment, that quote. When black men marry out, they have the highest divorce rates. ChatGPT it, because I study this for a living. There is no recent or credible study that supports that at all. And you could take that to the bank. Okay? You heard it here first. So if you see any black person quoting that when black men marry any other race of women, they have the highest divorce rates, ask them where they got it from, because you're lying. Stop spreading this false information. It stems from the same article, But Will It Last, Jennifer Bratter and Rosalind King. That's the source where it was saying that black women and white men have the lowest divorce rates, okay? And again, that study used 1995 to 2002 National Survey of Family Growth. That's where the data comes from, meaning it analyzed marriages that began in the 1980s and the 1990s. Y'all hear me? Before social media, before dating apps, before the explosion of interracial relationships as we see it today. Are y'all hearing me? The paper found that unadjusted numbers showed that white wife, black husband marriages had higher disillusion rates than white marriages. So they compared white-black marriages to white marriages. That's a flaw in itself, because of course we're going to have higher divorce rates than white marriages. Does that make sense? If y'all guys would have actually looked at it and read the study, you would have saw that. But you didn't. You just saw a headline or some black woman cited black women or black men get a hold of it, and now you on people's shows trying to quote it as the truth. It's not true. Here's the most crucial part that people never mention. Once the research is controlled for age, income, education, and other variables, that difference was no longer statistically significant. So that's why we're talking about college and marriages, because when you adjust for the black men that have, an adequate amount of income, they have the education and other variables, there were no difference between white marriages and black women, or white women, black men marriages. You see how that works? But they never cite that because they didn't read. In fact, the authors themselves never said black men who marry out the most. It's true. They never even mentioned that. I don't know where that came from. That interpretation came from, individual journalists and online commenters years later, since this conversation of swirling and divesting started to pop up. They created it, and it's just embarrassing that black men will take that and use it as a talking point on panel shows. It's crazy. And that the reason why that data is obsolete, because of, for one, it's more than 15 years old, and the marriages, again, it analyzed data that was 40 years old. Okay, so at that time, interracial marriage between black men and non-black women was relatively rare, but since then the rates have doubled. So let me ask you guys a question. If there was really an issue with black men marrying other races and we had the highest divorce rates, then why have the interracial marriage rates increased? Y'all see how that's flawed? It's flawed thinking, okay? So fast forward to today, and according to the 2023 Pew Research Center and the 2021 U.S. Census Black Demographics analysis, 21% of married black men are now married to non-black women. 13% of married black women are married to non-black men. Overall, about 1 in 5 married black men today are in interracial marriages. That's up from in the 1990s when it was only 10%. So around this time, when the study was published and when the study was researched, there was only 10% or less of black men married to non-black women. Fast forward to today, 21%, 11% increase. Why is that? If black men have higher divorce rates with other women, it's not true. And again, if you think I'm lying or you just misinformed, everybody can be an expert. ChatGPT it and ask them that question. Is it true that when black men marry out, they have the highest divorce rates? It's been quoted in social media. It's not true at all. God, dog. So if interracial marriage among black men, has increased, like I said, this much, 11%, yet we don't see an explosion of divorce rates in the newer data, then logically, the idea that black men who marry out have the highest divorce rate simply doesn't hold up, guys. Okay? Now, the real modern data is from Bowling Green's 2018 study. Okay? And let me go over what it says. The National Center for Family and Marriage Research at Bowling Green State University published its marriage to divorce ratio report based on 2018 community survey data. That's not 50 years old. Okay? They found that black women have the lowest divorce rate and the highest divorce rate of any major racial or gender group. Their ratio is 1.6 marriages per divorce. Compare that to white women at 2.1, Hispanic women 2.5, Asian women 3.4 marriages per divorce. So, listen to me good, black community. If black women as a demographic experience the highest divorce rates overall, that means they, not black men, are statistically more likely to experience divorce regardless of who they marry. And I'm getting tired of the black community being shy to place blame where it should be. Okay? Black women will not grow. They will not change if you keep trying to blame Jermaine. You are pandering. Okay? Y'all have no issue calling out all what black men are doing wrong. But when it comes to our women, the way that you show them love is to tell them the truth. Stop trying to push it off on black men. It has nothing to do with us. The reason why black men are second to last in the highest divorce rates is because we're married to black women who initiate divorce the most and divorce the most. So what you think black men gonna do? We love black women. So that's why we keep getting married to them, even though we know that it's a lot of instability there, because for one, we all suffering in the black community for economic reasons, all other reasons that can be, research and shit like that. And stop pointing out this cheating shit. Men and women cheat at damn near the same rates. Okay? So if you telling me that 70% of women initiate divorce, right? 70%. You gonna say all that's cheating? All of that is because of cheating? No, it don't. Statistics don't work that way. All right. A lot of it is because women may not be happy. This is not coming from me. This is what women are saying on social media. So when the black community has these conversations, y'all are so scared and so buck broken that you won't even tell black women where they are lacking. And meanwhile, black men are increasing their interracial marriage rates right up under y'all noses while y'all sitting there. Well, hold on now. Black women, when they marry white men, they divorce at the lowest rate. Quoting that old ass study. And it's embarrassing that it comes from black men. Y'all should be doing the research for yourselves, because that does nothing but push black women further apart, even though the people researched in that study was nominal. If I'm telling you that 10% or less of black men were interracially married, then how many black women do you think were interracially married during the 1980s and the 1990s? Far lower, because those numbers have remained steady. Black men increase, black women increase a little bit. But overall, black men still outnumber black women in regards to marriage rates, 36% to 29%. Black men are on the cusp via trend analysis to increase their marriage rates to 40% over the next 10 years. Guess what? Half of that, they're going to be married to non-black women. Because why? Because the black community is too scared to tell black women that you need to change for black men. If you don't want to change for black men, our marriage rates will continue to climb while black women decrease. That's what the reality of the black community is. And people keep saying 2053, we're going to be, a net worth of zero. Who you think that's going to affect first? When I'm sitting there telling you that black men's income is rising, and you guys are sitting there on podcasts lying to black women, while we literally see black women complaining about SNAP being gone. Have y'all seen these videos? That shit is sad, man. The reason why I ain't talked about that shit, because I know when I was really young, my mom would have had to benefit from that. My mom would have benefited from SNAP benefits. Yes, I grew up in a single parent household. So it's not funny to me to see black women running out there being, scared on where they're going to find food for their kids. I understand it. That's why I've been working behind the scenes to put together some solutions to where we can help. We have all kinds of food banks out here. We have donated so much, but I don't put that shit on social media because I don't want it to seem performative. And I'm not going to make a video clowning black women, even though every chance they get, they talk shit about black men on social media. Maybe that's my flaw. That's my flaw, that I still believe in black women because I'm married to a black woman. I have a black daughter. So now when I go out in the world, I try and push all this shit aside and all the stuff that I hear on social media and still see the majority of black women in a positive light, even though I know we getting stabbed in the back. That's my flaw on this platform. And I don't think black women understand that. When you have somebody on your side who's actually trying to tell you the truth, to try and make sure that you can do better in the future, but you're going to sit there and talk shit about me and the black men that look like me. Okay? So that's why I'm telling you guys, black men are going to improve. So every time we talk about the black community, make sure you make a caveat and you look at the statistics before you say that, especially the income and the marital dynamics. And I know, the whole adage, Black men ain't in the household. That's bullshit. Black men have always been in the household. The majority of black men have always been in the household taking care of their kids. I'm not even gonna go over the statistics, but every time y'all put out this false ass narrative, well, we need more black men in the house. Black men sitting in the house. Why every time y'all talk about this shit on social media, every black man there has a family. Every black man there is damn near married. Every black man there has kids that they take care of on a day-to-day basis. But you will fix your goddamn mouths to sit there and say that black men are out the household. You are fucking living proof. Stand up. Have y'all noticed this? On every platform, there's literally more black men that are married than black women. That's why they spend more time talking to the black women on the platform who are speaking delusional. Okay? Every time. So I don't understand how black men can sit on social media and call out black men not being in the household when you sitting there looking at your buckaroos running around. Who are you? You think just everybody else is struggling out here? No, black men are in the household. Look at the statistics. Go to my platform. You will see the videos. Stop pushing this goddamn narrative. And I'm speaking directly to the black men who have mics. This shit is stupid. Okay? Y'all should know better than this. God damn. I'm getting tired of this bullshit, man. We grown. Same thing with the matriarchal situation. The black community, a matriarchy. It's run by women, but not in my house. Every black man that I ask, I think it's a matriarchy, but, oh, so it's a matriarchy in your house. Oh, no, I don't subscribe to that. I didn't ask damn near 20, 25 black men that direct question. I think it's a matriarchy, but no, not in my house. How the fuck that work? So if it's not in none of y'all houses, and I'm sitting there showing you the economic standing, I'm showing you the political standing in the black community, all hell, led by black men, and you still gonna sit there and say it's a matriarchy, and you still gonna say that black men are not in the household? How that work? Where's the representation of what you speak of? Maybe I need to run for office, because I'm not going on somebody's damn platform and I'm gonna sit there in front of a audience of people that just don't get it or don't want to learn. Y'all sitting there saying black men, it's the dumbest shit ever, man. Y'all got to stand up. And I'm gonna spend the next year. Next year, it's gonna be focused on black men. Because I see too much shit that's being pushed by us. Every narrative, we have other black men talking shit about the same stuff that I'm sitting there trying to rebut. We got grown-ass black men talking about the passport bros. What's wrong with us? Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, man. It's absolutely embarrassing. We got Dr. Umar going on platforms saying that we responsible for Sukiana and Sexy Red. The worst, bro. The worst. Shit is embarrassing, man. And I'm sitting there being a fool trying to educate. You guys know how many comments I got. I did that video on the girl who got scammed in Ghana. People came to my video expecting me to bash that woman, slander that woman. Do you know how many comments that I had? Man, Media Man, this was an amazing video. I learned so much. Thank you. Women sending me DMs saying, man, I'm glad that you sent that. Put that link in there about CDC travel. I didn't know about that. That's why I've been getting sick when I go to these different countries. People come to my channel and they like, man, okay, we're going to get a good bashing session about black women. I have educated black women on so much. And I have not put out those DM conversations that I have. Me and a bunch of other women that's been following me for a while, they always, Ileana Murray, we have a correspondence behind the scenes. I love to see her doing well. Y'all, this ain't the regular channel that you gonna get just somebody giving some vanilla ass conversation on a video that we see. I'm gonna try and help. If y'all ain't noticed that every video, especially the video on demands, we start with the introduction, we start with the proof, the receipts, we go into the statistics, the details, and at the end of the video, what do I always do? Solutions. I had a conversation with a guy on TikTok. He was trying to be facetious by, responding to my video saying, well, what do you think the solution is for this situation? I sent him a full list that I'd already brainstormed. And then he asked me for some other stuff. I was like, no, now you have some homework to do. You let me know what you find. He didn't respond. Okay? Because y'all so used to people just reacting to videos, and I don't care about what people do on their other platforms, man. But when you start lying, that's when it's a problem for the black community. Don't ever fix your mouths to say shit about black women and white men marriages. White men don't marry black women. Okay? And I wish a white man would say something or respond to this video when I clip it up. Because all I'm gonna do is pull up the information. 0.5% of y'all are married to black women. Where's the proof? So every time you see black women saying, well, I'm gonna just date out, where you gonna go? You go to white men? No. They're gonna use your ass and they're gonna get rid of you. Okay? This is stupid, man. The black community, y'all just so, don't want to work with black men who are doing well. There's so many examples of that. I don't need to even, I'm not looking for black women's validation to prove to me that this is true, that they like the thug dudes, and then when they get older, they want the stable man. You really think I'm gonna waste my time expecting black women to admit to that? No. I already know it's true. That's it. And that's how I base my channel off of. I'm like, damn, man, but I'm kind of racking my brain. I'm like, man, do I continue? Or, do I just, continue to do my thing and just not focus on trying to help black women because I know they need the most help first. And nobody in the black community wants to show them that. That's sad. That's what's embarrassing. God, dog. Yeah, and this is true. Nobody is held more accountable than black men. That's why I continue to push out this information. Everything has literally been explained. I went through 3 major talking points in regards to the education conversation. Okay? So on my page, put out a whole infographic explaining the first one about, no, with black community, you're looking at ages 26 to 38 or 26 to 35. That's not the whole black community. No black community. It doesn't mean that this amount of black women has the most degrees. That was from this report where they were saying that in the black community, in this snapshot, that's where black women had 61% of the degrees. Here's the real information, black community. Stop running out there looking like assholes, spreading this false information because you're giving black women an inflated ego. When we see what's happening with Snap, where are your resources? Where are your solutions? Why aren't you partnered with a black man? Why can't he help you? Why can't this blue collar man be a part of your life when you sitting there struggling? And y'all say, no, we got it together. Okay. And y'all keep saying that. You letting these women, these hurt ass women talk about the shit. Yeah, well, we can do it ourselves. We don't need black men. If we don't want you before the snap was gone, we don't want you now. Okay. And then it's going to be my dumb ass still coming on here trying to do a video on demand on solutions. Yes, I've been working behind the scenes to put a video on demand about the SNAP crisis because eventually the government shutdown is going to end. But that doesn't change the problems. That doesn't change the problems that we uncovered, that there are a lot of black women that rely on SNAP, and if SNAP goes away, they can't function. That's where the problem is. Okay, so I know people are gonna say, well, when SNAP gets fixed, then everything will be fine. No, that means a lot of black women relying on social media, and we need to help them. Well, I won't say we, because a lot of y'all are checked out. I need to help them because I love the black community, and that is a huge flaw of mine. That's sad to say, but damn. Sad, man, that I had to be apprehensive about helping the Black community.